Hey y'all, today I'm at the Zachary Public Cemetery. I'm going to be walking through here, kind of talking a little bit about this cemetery. This is one of 3 cemeteries that's all in a row. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. A view of the sign right there. Now, this is a very old cemetery. I'm going to let these cars pass. This cemetery is very old. I think it's the oldest one in the area. But the thing about it is, what's really unique is there's 3 cemeteries. There's this one and then 2 more right next door, all in succession. So I'm gonna just kind of walk through here and I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about this cemetery. It's 174 years old. The oldest remains was a guy by the name of Squire Hoffman, who died in 1850 at the age of 33. One thing about the cemetery, as you can tell, it's not in the best condition. I mean, as far as the grounds and all, the next 2 I'm going to show y'all is quite a bit better kept up. But this is a very, very old cemetery, getting close to 200 years old. There's a little shot. It is noted that it did fall into disrepair in the early 2000s, and a massive cleanup was done in 2021. And I did come out here to check this cemetery out a couple months back, and it was quite a bit more overgrown than it is right now. So at least it's to the point of where I could walk through here and kind of show y'all what Zachary's oldest cemetery looks like. As far, I'm assuming this is Zachary's oldest cemetery. Don't take my word for that, because I might be wrong. But with the Hoffman burial in 1850, that means burials started 10 years before the Civil War and nearly 40 years before the town of Zachary was incorporated, which followed a large land donation from Darrell Zachary to help connect the area to railroad traffic company. So this cemetery was here 40 years before the town was even here, which is just pretty neat. It does hold graves for hometown war vets from both world wars, World War I and World War II. But as far as the cemetery does not have the grave from the legendary Witch of Zachary, whose name was Alice Penny Taylor. She's the subject of folklore around here. That's mainly why I'm making this video. I'm hoping to locate her grave, is what the whole purpose of this video is. She's supposedly buried in the next cemetery over, which I'll be showing y'all that in just a little bit. Bueller Plains is the next cemetery over. Now that supposedly holds her remains, but as far as I know of, her grave hasn't been, nobody knows where her grave exactly is. I don't have much more information other than her name. I think she lived sometime in the 1800s, and there's just not a lot of information available on these old cemeteries. But I'll get a little bit more into that about the Witch of Zachary when I go over to the next cemetery. I just wanted to show y'all this one for a few minutes, you know, because I'm gonna show y'all all 3 of the cemeteries, but I just want to give y'all a little look at this one. I guess this, if I had to guess, I would say this one was here first, and because it is at the corner of a major intersection. As you can see back over there, it's a major intersection back over there, and I would say that this one was here first, probably quite a bit before the other 2. So I had to show y'all a little clip of this one, at least a little bit of it. It does hold remains of both white and black people. The early deceased were white, but the last several decades saw black families using the cemetery. And back in 1926, the cemetery was bought by a group of residents from the town. That's about all the information I could find on it. But I'm going to walk over to the next cemetery in Bueller Plains, which is where supposedly the Witch of Zachary is buried. And I'll see y'all there. Alright guys, I'm back. This would be the third one out of the 3 cemeteries. This is Azalea Rest Cemetery, established in 1953. Get a little way from this highway. It's right on the highway. But this is in my opinion, is a really beautiful, well-kept cemetery. I know a lot of people would probably say it's, you know, cemeteries are morbid or something like that, but I find that this one and the one next door are some very well-kept, very beautiful cemeteries. I noticed this just a minute ago. Let me show y'all. Here. This is a nice little tribute in memory of the unborn, October 2001, Knights of Columbus. So that's a really nice tribute to those that are, to all of those that are unborn. Beautiful American flag right at the entrance. I'm not going to spend too much time in this one because this video is on the search of the Witch of Zachary's grave, but I did want to show y'all this one because it is a really nice, beautiful cemetery. There's some beautiful live oak trees in the back there, as you can see. There's some old graves in this one too, but quite a bit newer cemetery than the other 2. I'm not sure of the year of Bueller Plains, but a big live oak back there. Zoom in on this one. Back there at the corner, huge live oak. But figured I'd walk through this one just briefly, give you all a little glimpse of this one. The one next door to it, Bueller Plains, is a lot like this one. Both very well kept cemeteries. You know, a lot of these old cemeteries kind of get forgotten about, get neglected, and they don't get kept up as well. But these 2 are very well kept up, I will say that. This big live oak right there. I hope y'all can see these graves somewhat well, because kind of facing the sun. Some shade right here. Tell you what, I wouldn't mind being buried here in one of these cemeteries because it's close to the highway, but very beautiful, very peaceful. Alright, well, right next door, if you look straight ahead, that's Bueller Plains. I'm going to walk over there, and the search will begin for the Witch of Zachary's grave. Alright, now I'm at the Bueller Plains Cemetery. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but right under the name there, it says established 1820. This one, loud truck. Let me get away from the highway a little bit. Now these, I just love these big oak trees. I mean, it's a real nice entrance to this cemetery. But I didn't realize this one was this old, 1820. So this may be the oldest one. It said the first person to be buried in a public cemetery was 1850. So I guess this one is 30 years older. But I'll just give y'all a shot there. This cemetery, this one is just as beautiful as the other one, the Azalea Rest Cemetery, if not more picturesque. I'm gonna walk around. The thing I'm looking for is what I did hear about the Witch of Zachary's grave is that there's, as you can see right ahead of me, there's a little fence around this one. Now they said her grave was had a small picket fence around it, and as folklore goes, she said that when all four posts fall to the ground, and therefore the fence falls with it, then she will be released from her grave. Now that's a story of folklore, but there's a few. Let's see what this one is. There's a few graves in here that have this. Let's see. Now this one's iron post, so it's supposedly a wooden fence with a wooden post. So let's see that the last name is Townsend. So I don't think this will be hers, but it's supposed to be something similar to this. Now let's see, there's another one right here. This one looks very old. It's a beautiful gate. Very old. But see, once again, we have iron. So I'm gonna say this one ain't it. We're gonna take a look close. And the name on this one is Rainberg, I want to say, R-E-I-N-B-E-R-G. The leaves are kind of blocking it, but I'm going to say this one isn't her either. Now, trying to see if I can spot any more with these fences around it. Because, as the story goes, this is the cemetery she is buried in. That's 1992. Old cross right there. So as from what I could gather, like I said, there isn't much information on these old cemeteries. Is that this is the cemetery she's buried in. Now, it would make sense, seeing as this one is the oldest cemetery. Now that is just a kind of fitting tree to be in a cemetery, if you ask me. So is that one right over there in the distance. Some beautiful old cypress trees. It says these folks have a nice spot to be buried in, real close to this old cypress tree. Stay nice and shady all day long. This one's 1874 to 1912. Some old graves in this cemetery. Let's get y'all a little close up to this one. That's a beautiful headstone. Never seen one like this before. It's concrete, but Woodman of the World Memorial. William Sr., 1872 to 1950. It's done in the fashion of a tree. Woodman of the World. A tree stump. Alright. Man, I did not realize there's this many cypress trees in this cemetery. These must be really old, because they're very big. This one is huge. Huge base, but not much left to it. Beautiful old cypress trees. I love cypress. Here in Louisiana, they're pretty common, but more so down south in the more swampy areas. Now, let's see. I think there's a few family-owned areas, private family cemeteries back here. But I'm going to show y'all this big cross here. I'll get y'all a good shot of it. Let's see what it says. First Plains Presbyterian Church was built on this hallowed ground circa 1804. Wow, that's over 220 years old. The church is no longer here, but I guess they put the cross there to remember it. And right behind it, you have the Hunt Family Cemetery. This is they got themselves a nice spot back here to be buried. Really peaceful, and far off the noisy highway behind me. It's not a major highway, but it has a lot of traffic, as y'all probably heard earlier in the video. Very beautiful spot to spend the rest of eternity. All right. I mean, this is these old cemeteries. I mean, there's, a lot of these get, fall into disrepair, and they're just left to just rot away or just crumble. A lot of these old cemeteries, the families die off, and then the descendants die off, and then the generations, the gap gets so large that a lot of people that are buried in these old cemeteries, the descendants, 100, 200 years later, never even met these people. So these old cemeteries fall into disrepair. Like this cemetery is over 200 years old, yeah, I mean, 200-year-old cemetery. And look at this place. I mean, it's beautiful, very well kept up. Now I know I did see some graves in here where people were buried somewhat recently, last 20-30 years. I don't know, I'm sure they have some. I see a pile of dirt back there, so I mean, I'm sure there are people still being buried here, not as many as they used to be, but it's just it's just a great sign to see these old cemeteries with, as you can see. I mean, look over there, all the people buried in these cemeteries, and these cemeteries are still being very well kept up for the descendants of the deceased to come and visit. And it just makes for a much better experience when you're going to pay your respects. Now let's see what we have here. Here's one that's in a little fenced in area, but once again, chain link fence, no wood. So I'm gonna venture off and say that this is not hers. It's hard to read it, but I don't see anything along the name of Alice Penny Taylor. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this isn't it, seeing as there's this one right here right next to it is Roberts is the name. So I'm going to go ahead and say this isn't hers either. Now, I don't know if there's any more. I'll go walk around a little bit more. Now, this one, is very old. Once again, we don't have wood, which I can't believe anybody would put a wood fence around a grave, because it's just not going to last. I mean, iron is the way to go, as you see. Now, this one is really overgrown. I mean, really overgrown. Trying to get y'all a good shot of it. And I'm looking for a headstone. Wait, I think I see something. Let me see. There's headstone. I'm trying to get a good shot of it. I'm sure y'all can't see that. I can barely see it. Let me see. There's a little, very, very small headstone right there. And I can't make it out now. I don't know. Could this be it? I mean, I don't think there's any more. It has a fence around it. There's any more graves with fences around it. Now, this is the only one I can't read the family name. I mean, I feel like wherever her grave is, it doesn't have a fence around it anymore like the story goes. I mean, this one has an iron fence, which it'll be a long time before this fence falls. You know, as the story goes, when all the fence collapses, then she'll come back from her grave. But I don't know, could this be it? I'm gonna venture off and say most likely it isn't, but you never know. I will say this, I walked back here a little while ago before I started shooting this, and the closer I got to this little area, you can probably hear him. There's a crow that just keeps chirping, and the more I got closer to this area, the more he was chirping, the louder he got. Now, I'm sure that doesn't mean anything, but I don't know. You never know. But we're gonna look a little more. I'm gonna show y'all a few more. Look at this cypress tree here. I mean, this is impressive. I mean, just to give you an idea, I mean, this is my hand, and I mean, that's a big, big, old cypress tree. Look at that. That's amazing. I love these big old trees. I mean, we have so many live oak trees. You know, the live oak trees are the ones that droop down to the ground, the branches. But this is, see, like that tree I showed y'all a minute ago, that one is, you can tell it's old by the knots on it. It's got some old, I think they call it like cancers on the tree, but not very tall. But we did have some big storms coming through here that might have kind of knocked the tops off of them. But I just figured I'd show y'all. I love these old trees. I'm sure a lot of you admire them too. These big, beautiful. This is an old tree here. Oh, these trees could talk, huh? Now this is some beautiful graves right here. Very old. I love the way. I mean, some of you probably. I'm not, you know, not necessarily into this stuff. Some people are, you know, fascinated by it. Not saying I'm not, but I noticed these really old headstones like this one right here. It's like they're made out of marble, or I don't know if they're granite or marble, but see, this person was buried in 1932, and I love these headstones, you know, that are made out of, you know, they're white. I mean, this one's really old, so it has a lot of mold, mildew growth on it, but see, like this one, I think these are granite. These are somewhat newer ones, but these old ones, I think they use marble, and I just think that, you know, makes for a really beautiful headstone. Like I said, some people might be into this a little more than me. I'm not really into this, but I figured this was a really beautiful cemetery, or cemeteries, should I say. I've never seen an area with three cemeteries all in a row. All three of these, you can walk to all three of them. You know, they're all in succession. But I'm trying to see, I was just on I guess you could say the east end of the cemetery, trying to see if there's any more with fences around them. Some old heads. Watch, I'll show y'all. I'll go get you a close up of this one. This is a really beautiful headstone right here. Very old, 1843 to 1895. I mean, just the way it has like the cloth draped over it, you know, that effect. I think that's really, really neat, the way they did these headstones. in the late 1800s. I mean, they put a lot of time and I mean, they're works of art, really, if you ask me. All right, more cypress trees. Just want to, I think I see one more. There's some more, another family cemetery, I guess you could call it back there, a little private family cemeteries. But just making sure I cover all the ones with fences around them, because that's where she supposedly is. Now I see one more, and we're gonna go check it out. Some newer ones. Oh, this one looks. Check this out. I'm gonna show y'all this one. This is very hard to read, but this was a soldier. But I see INF, which means infantry. Now that is an old headstone right there. This one's all in the corner by itself, but doesn't seem to be the one we're searching for. Now this, if you've never seen live oak trees before, this is two beautiful examples of it. Now this one right here, I'm gonna get y'all a close up of it. See, this is the other one I just saw. If you can see it straight ahead with the fence around it. But this right here, get my car out of the shot. This is an impressive tree. I mean, this is just, it's just enormous. And if you see, look, the branches go all the way down almost to the ground. And I mean, the canopy on this thing is enormous. I mean, it's covering this whole little area. I mean, look at the size. Once again, for reference, I mean, that's just an enormous tree right there. I mean, look at the size of the vines growing off of it. Let's go check out this. This is about the only other one I see with the fence around it. Now, it does look very, very old. Never know. This might be it. I doubt it. Let's see. Now, uh-oh. We do have a post down. We do have a post down, so, let's see if we can see the name on it. And I want to say that's Knox. So I don't think this is going to be her. And Smith. So I don't guess this is it, even though we have a post down, which is what I was looking for, a fenced-in grave with posts down. But I'm sure that I mean, I couldn't find anything of when she lived, you know, the years she lived in, but I'm sure that her little fenced-in areas is long fallen. Therefore, she would have been released long time ago. But or who knows if it even really exists to begin with. It could just be a story out of folklore. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I just thought this would be a really neat one to do. That's in my hometown of Zachary. I know if you haven't checked out my first video, it's on, you know, the town of Zachary, but I'm going to branch out from here. There's a really old town down the road called St. Francisville that has a lot of history that I'll probably be doing next. So I'll be venturing out a little bit further than just my hometown, show y'all more. I'm going to try to do some videos on different parts of Louisiana, some of the old towns that have just a lot of history, stuff that just, you know, makes for really good content and it'll be really interesting for y'all to watch. If you're watching this video, I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see y'all on the next one. Have a good day.